What's up, everybody? It's your boy Bobby.
And it's your boy Mo.
And welcome back to the Real One Show.
Hey, alright. So, I saw some nudes earlier.
The face of a man who saw some nudes.
I mean, they boo. You know, she a freak, but they boo. So, Bobby, want to elaborate what is...
Well, unfortunately, these nudes come with, the backstory. We're talking about Bella Thorne and the attempted hacking on Bella Thorne. Bella Thorne is an actress, not noticeable in certain films, but I've heard of her. Oh, apparently she was in the Ratchet and Clank video game, though. That's what's up. I like that.
I'm pretty sure she was the chicken Shake It Up, though, but go on.
So Bella Thorne, there was an attempted hacking on Bella Thorne, and, this hacker sent her own nudes and say, hey, I have all these, and I'm going to blackmail
Pretty
you.
much, run it up.
I don't think there was, ever an amount that he stated. I think he just wanted to torment her or have that power over her or whatnot. But
well, here's probably trying to milk it to see how much he could get.
Maybe. Like in terms of what's really that I haven't seen yet is, the motives of the hacker, and we're never going to really find that out. But, so this guy had her nudes and threatened her that it was going to get leaked. So her, instead, leaked it herself on her Twitter. And, she said, fuck you, you're not going to have this power over me, I'm going to release my own fucking nudes. Which I commend, to be honest. I think that's a very, as some people say, a power move. A good power move.
It's notable.
Right. I like that. And so I guess the subject of today's story is the whole nudes thing. The whole, from fappening to now, and the whole state of is it really safe to take nudes anymore?
The fappening? Is that the mass leak on iCloud?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was the original. I mean, obviously leaks happened before that, but I was the original brought it to the mainstream.
Right.
And so I don't know, it's a very interesting thing. And also, just to follow up, Whoopi Goldberg said on The View today or yesterday, yeah, that was correct, is also commenting on her in terms of, she quote said, if you're famous, I don't care how old you are, you don't take nude pictures of yourself. And then she goes on to say, listen, when they're hacking you, they're hacking all your stuff, whether it's 1 or 1 million pictures. Now, I agree with Whoopi Goldberg on The View in terms of when they're hacking you, they're hacking to get something, whether it's just 1 or millions pictures.
They're getting everything. They're getting
right.
They're not going to take they're taking the whole data file, everything.
Right.
Your whole hard drive.
What I do disagree with is, I don't care how old you don't take nude pictures of yourself. I don't agree with that, because it's so what do you like?
What I will go ahead and say, and I was saying to Bobby earlier, is that I don't think it's wise to store naked pictures of yourself in your phone. It'd be one thing if they got that information from somebody else's phone, whether it be, the dude or chick you clapping or with, or whatever the situation is, or whoever you sent it to, as opposed to getting it from you because it's your naked body. You know what you look like. You don't need to store a picture of yourself.
Yeah,
you gain no plus points for keeping your own pictures on your phone.
What if you just seeing yourself? I don't know.
Then look in the mirror. Take off your clothes and look in the mirror.
You
have this is the thing when I'm saying.
Live view.
Right. This is what I'm saying. You have the body, so you can see naked pictures of you.
But I think it's more of just people recycling nudes,
which is lazy as shit. If you with somebody else and you can't think of sending the nude in a different way, then you got the game fucked up. For instance, I'd have one chick that likes a particular underwear, right? I'd send a picture in that underwear. Because it's not universal to everybody else. Like, she particularly has an interest in that underwear, so why not?
That's a very specific.
No, you have to be, because different. I mean, obviously, you dealing with people for any period of time. Like, you're gonna know what they like or what they like don't really care too much for when it comes to nudity. So if they like titties, send them some titties. The next dude might like your ass. Like, what? Why would you send them titty pictures if you don't really care about the titties like that? You know what I'm saying? So you have to kind of like be able to be neither here nor there. My point that I'm trying to make is, if you have naked pictures of yourself on your phone, you kind of opening up the floodgates to like, and not even so much being hacked, but to people in general who are anywhere in your vicinity at any given moment to be able to view that information. Because it could have just been like a simple glance over and somebody took a picture of it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be more mindful. I would say that, but it's definitely. I mean, don't stop taking.
I agree with the whole.
Nudes,
you got to be more mindful, but I think the real issue is not you shouldn't take nude pictures. I think the issue is you should be more aware of what Wi-Fi you're connecting to and protecting yourself,
and not having a VPN. Touche.
And having a VPN, yeah.
But this is the thing. This is why I wouldn't even go ahead and mention that part, because it's like, I mean, yes, it's true, but at the same time, a lot of people, when they take pictures and send things through text, they're not thinking about the internet at all. They're thinking about their cell network. Immediate, they're thinking about a cell network. They're not thinking about it over. I mean, if she sent that through a social media outlet, then it's different. But when people send pictures, generally it's through text. I would imagine it's through text, right? So they're not thinking about the internet. They're not thinking about it being linked to their data. They're thinking about it, or to the internet, like Wi-Fi or whatever. They're thinking about it being linked to their network, and they have that level of trust for their network. So I don't think it's an immediate thought for people to think, oh yeah, I have pictures, so I shouldn't use the Wi-Fi, because they're not thinking that. But again, if they store it, you're opening up the floodgates. But when it comes to just, because from the pictures that I saw, it was received through a, or was it, you said it was the hacker who was texting her?
I believe, the hacker was texting her, and then she screenshotted
okay.
of the proof.
All right, so disregard what I was about to say. But what I'm saying, it goes back to what I was saying before. Like, you have your own nudes, delete them shits. You can always take a new one whenever you feel like taking the new, because it's your body at the end of the day. Like, you can't be too lazy to lift the phone up and take a picture.
I think that goes into more other things, where it's like, well, things get stored into the cloud, or things get stored and backed up, and I feel like if you ever took in a nude, it's just backed up. Taken. If you ever taken a nude,
it's if you have it set to be backed up. You can choose to not have certain things backed up.
Right, but,
especially if you know it's going to be nudes. Why would you choose to have your nudes like synced in with all the rest of your pictures? Even if it's private, like, you don't want, like, again, at any given moment, your mom might be like, "Can I use your phone for something?" You don't want her to come across those, even if she shouldn't be in the pictures.
Oh yeah, that's why you have the private folder,
right? You don't want. So it's one of them situations where if you know it's pictures that you want to be saved, and it's a particular, like, it's a naked picture, there's no like situational memories as it relates to a naked picture. You can take that shit anywhere. You know what I mean? It's not like you're taking it with a backdrop of the Eiffel Tower. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's a little bit more scenic at that point. But if you just
very, very gorgeous,
right? But if you're taking it in a bed, you know what I mean? There's thousands of beds. Nobody's gonna know where the bed is. So just delete that, take a new one, keep it pushing. Again, my argument is if they take it, if they got that information from somebody else, then it's different. But that's just my personal view about it is, don't keep naked pictures of yourself. If I take a picture of myself, I delete it, because I know what I look like. I don't need to store that. Like, I don't get off from seeing my own dick. So it's not anything for me to store. If another chick and I don't really take, thing is, I don't really take nudes all that much either way. So when I do it, it's generally situational. Live. It's a situational thing. It's like it's for a particular reason. And with a particular image in mind. It's not like, oh, random dick pic, hold this. You know what I mean? It's not one of them situations.
Random dick pic, hold this.
Well, random to people who want to see it. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I know.
But
I'm saying, like, hold this.
Yeah, but as soon as I send it out, that's just delete. I don't need to. You know what I mean? Even if I think of sending it to somebody else, I'll send it to the other person that time, like at that moment. I'm not gonna do it I'm not gonna wait until like some a new prospect pops up and then I'm gonna send it. Like nah, new person, new picture. You know what I mean? You don't know there's always shit, but I'd rather keep it that way. You know
it's just your prerogative. It's in you.
Right. Like you just
to always
delete.
keep it fresh.
Now, if it's somebody else's thing, this is the thing with other people's pictures too. I delete those as well. However, I delete them after a longer time span than my own pictures. It's not an immediate delete. It depends on like the context. You know what I mean? Like, I still probably.
I think we're going into like what is the etiquette of receiving or sending nudes.
I mean, because at the end of the day, the point that the whole scenario is trying to make, I feel like it's already been made. You know what I mean? Like, be mindful of what type of networks you're on. Be mindful of not being, privately connected.
That should be what should be taken out of this. Every day, it just gets more scarier for your phone to be connecting to a random Starbucks because you don't know who's behind
There's
that
15
Starbucks.
Hackers in that Starbucks.
Right. And for real, it's very easy to set up a false network pretending you're Starbucks Wi-Fi, using Starbucks Wi-Fi, and then people are like monitoring what's your exchange from your phone to the network. It's very easy.
The network.
I could do it. I've tried it.
Oh shit! Future hackers of America here.
Nah. I try it for educational purposes.
Educate yourself on these nudes, on these asses and titties.
Nah, I'm not catching nudes. I'm seeing how easy it is for someone like me to do it, and that's why I need to not, connect to a random Starbucks.
Right.
But on that note, let's see here. So I really don't like Whoopi Goldberg's because like
that aspect of what she said, the whole privacy thing. I mean, I think the point which she was trying to make. I mean, again, when you on a talk show, you kind of just like say the first thing that comes to mind because you got to keep the flow of the show going. Maybe that's not like her actual like thought out logic. Probably just like her immediate thought.
Whoopi
like
Goldberg always says like what it is. I'm pretty sure
everyone has retractions on certain things. Like I'll say something like spur of the moment right now and then rethink it. We had a whole conversation about that earlier, about me making a spur of the moment decision and rethinking it shortly afterwards. So even if you have like a pretty straightforward, like direct approach to how you handle things, there's still always retractions. There's always room for revision. It's not always set in stone. But going with directly what she said and not using that logic, she definitely like should be like considering being more lenient with the thought of, because it's 2019, everybody out here like flashing like titties and ass and dicks all over the place.
Well, I think that's what she doesn't agree
but
with.
But I mean, she's from a different generation, so she's not aware of when people have phones, they don't take Polaroids anymore. It's just a quick snap with the phone. Back in her day, they probably had Polaroids. You probably had a whole photography session.
With Polaroids?
Yeah, you probably had a whole photography session. Like the shit you see in like certain music videos when dudes are like randomly taking pictures of the chick like on the wall and shit. Like that's probably what they did back then because they didn't have phones. Nowadays it's like boom and that's it. The process is over. It's not a whole freaking recording session.
You're gonna get these titties real quick. Just watch.
Yeah, it's not a whole recording set. Right, you ain't gotta prime nothing. You ain't gotta get the lighting right. You don't have to get the backdrop. You just boom, keep it moving because people ain't thinking too much about it. It's instant gratification. But it's definitely in the wrong or not so much in the wrong, but her opinion is definitely like very flawed in thinking that in order to be safe, you should just not be a human being. Because that's at the end of the day, in 2019, that's just human behavior. Celebrity or not, you're a human being. There's no pedestal here. So as long as you're a regular human being, you're going to do regular human being shit. And that includes if you fucking on something, you going to show some naked pictures. That's just how it works. So more than anything, it's just privacy over everything. Be very mindful, especially when you have those pictures. Like I know I said earlier that you probably shouldn't have your own nudes, but if you are gonna have your own nudes on shit because people don't listen, be private. Make sure you're mindful of privacy when you have that kind of information on the phone, especially if you don't particularly want it shared. Like if you're one of those people that couldn't care less, then by all means connect to wherever, because people can't blackmail you if you don't give a fuck. But if you do actually care,
I do have a kind of a sort of thought where So, research purposes, I did. You know, she posted it on her own Twitter, so it's not like I sought this out. It was her own Twitter that she posted these nudes on, and something that, and you know, they looked like there was a couple of videos in it, but something that I wonder is if her face was in those videos, because if her face was not in those videos, I'm pretty sure she could have just played it off like, nah, that ain't me.
Yeah, her face was probably in. Yeah, I think it wouldn't have
So
been.
I'm saying-
I don't think it
so
would have
I-
been an issue if her face wasn't in one of them.
Well, I think that would have been way
Because
better.
you've seen
'cause I-
videos. There are videos, so I'm pretty sure she's taking a video. There's there's a face there somewhere.
Not necessarily. But
But it
what
has to
I'm
have
trying
been-
to
I
get at
mean-
is, like, I think what people should do and should continuously do is when you take nudes, do not put your face in it.
Again, see, going into the realm of the same thing that I was mentioning earlier about not storing it in your phone. Like you're going into like a blind segue that a lot of people won't follow. Like if somebody's gonna send their face, they're gonna send their face just as much as if they're gonna
Yes, I
save their.
understand, but I'm saying for the people who are, like you said, mindful of sending this picture,
Right.
A, who the hell are you sending it to? B, like, you automatically have to think, if this gets leaked, am I okay with this? That's
Right.
That's the terms and services that you just have to come with nowadays when you send those kind of things. When you send that kind of thing, unfortunately, there's a possibility that it's going to be shared, it's going to be leaked, and that's why I'm saying, like, treat it as, you know, I don't know what's a good analogy, but, like, don't put sensitive information in it. Don't put addresses into it. Don't put your face into it. You know.
And a lot of people may be thinking, "Oh, damn, this technology shit is fucked up." It's like, yeah, it is.
If you're not mindful of certain things, like if you know you have certain information stored in certain places and you're not coded over encrypted networks, you have to be mindful of the things that are on your phone that are not encrypted.
Mm-hmm.
So the connection to your phone particularly is not encrypted. While your accounts may be encrypted because they're locked in to tons of firewall protection through your banks, your pictures aren't, because they're directly on your phone. Once somebody accesses your phone, unless there's like some kind of encryption and pass protection on certain pictures, they have access to all that. Right. So at the end of the day, when it comes to like face value things, if you're sensitive about certain pieces of information being out there in public, the biggest advice, and I'm pretty sure anyone should be able to follow this, is just be mindful of the privacy that you have with these images on your phone. Because obviously we can't get you to delete your own shit from your phone. We can't get you to erase your face from the phone, despite the fact that Kanye probably mentioned that years ago. And so many people following now understand how you not taking his advice, right? But at the end of the day, really, when it comes down to is privacy of everything. Be mindful. Like dudes like me, I don't care. If you end up seeing my dick somewhere, then more power to me. Like you only bringing attention to me. But some people don't like that kind of attention. You know, some people find that attention unflattering.
Also, just a quick note. Never send an unsolicited dick pic. You know, never do that.
Oh no! Hey! Listen up. Bobby might be trying to get me fucked up here. I don't do that. All right?
No. That's totally not with you. It's just in general.
Right.
I've heard so much stupid shit. It's like if you think sending a dick pic is gonna make her like you more,
yeah, you're making a silly mistake. She'll want to see the dick when she requests it. Don't.
Right.
Especially if the shit trash. Like if you gonna get like laughed at immediately after, you definitely not gonna hear from her again for sure. On top of the fact that you say, I mean, she's gonna share that for sure. That is saved and that is gonna be rebroadcasted. But
I do want to say Bell Thorne's response to the whole Whoopi Goldberg thing.
She did respond?
She did respond. She said, watching this interview made me really feel bad about myself. She said she's canceling an appearance on the show. And then she goes on to say, I don't really want you guys talking about your views to young girls because I would not want my daughter to learn that I don't really want you guys talking about your views to young girls because I would not want my daughter to learn that I would never say that. And wow, I would not want my daughter to learn that, and I... Okay, sorry. The whole sentence got me fucked up. Want my daughter to learn that, and I would never say that to her. Jesus. And then she goes on to say, shame on you, Whoopi, for putting that public opinion just out there like that for every young girl to think that they're disgusting, or even taking a photo like that. Shame on you. Saying that if you take a sexy photo, then it's basically deserves to get leaked. Like, don't be surprised at all, and don't feel sorry for yourself.
Okay, in terms of her response, Whoopi definitely didn't say anything about young girls. She said celebrities. She was not targeting.
Well,
she was not targeting. What is,
it doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or like young or any like. She was saying like it doesn't matter what age you are. You shouldn't be taking these pictures.
But that wasn't a target towards a younger audience though.
I feel like
that's just like that. She's saying she understands that it's a young person thing to do, but she also is aware that older people do it. She's like, there's no age for it. Just if you're a celebrity, be mindful. In her defense, I will say she's not targeting any age range.
Yeah, I don't think she was. I don't think she was shaming per se.
No, she was just. I mean, she's giving a stern mother's advice. Like I don't think a lot of people like we've had stern mother's advice because we're from a different like upbringing. You know, as for us, we'd see it as like a stern mother's advice. Like, you know, take it with a grain of salt type of thing. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt type thing. You don't have to listen to me. But if things like this happen, can't say I didn't tell you type of thing. Like that's the kind of like, you know, angle that she's trying to come at here. But she's definitely from what I read, she definitely didn't target any age range. Like, though, I mean, you might feel some kind of way because you're young, and you might just take that part out of it because you're young. But I don't think she was taking, you know, any sides when it comes to age. She was just saying, so from a celebrity outlook, if you're a celebrity in any stage of your life, be mindful of that. But in her way, she was saying, don't do it. You know, just don't do it. Obviously,
right.
ain't nobody
and that's
not
her
gonna
opinion.
do it. Right.
You know, that's her opinion. Was like people shouldn't be doing this anyways, and that's that's okay to have that opinion.
It's a valid opinion. It may not be just, but it's a valid opinion.
Right. At the end of the day, it's like I don't think Whoopi was trying to come at her for that.
No, Whoopi's not gonna try to come
I feel
at
like, you know, with Bella Thorne, she's trying to like make it where like, oh, you're trying to shame people for taking these pictures. I don't think, like I said, I don't think that was Whoopi's intent.
If she was, she would have been like, shame on you. Probably what she would have started with. Like, that is disgusting, you know. And she's not gonna say that because she doesn't think it is. Like, Whoopi is a pretty free spirited individual. What her again, at the end of the day, she's a black mother. You know what I mean? So her perspective on things is more stern.
Be mother-like.
Yeah, it's more stern than it is liberated. She's not gonna be like, oh no, I support you, baby. No, your decision is dumb. So be mindful of it next time. Otherwise, if it happens again, right? If it happens again, you can't say I didn't say it. That's kind of her angle, as opposed to saying, nah, baby, I support you. Whatever happens, it's okay. You'll be okay. She's not gonna do that because that's not her culture. That's not her upbringing. You know what I mean? She's grown up to be a stern mom, a stern mother figure. So she's gonna make stern advice points, and it's up to you to take, you know, from that what you will. And if you take from it that she's targeting you and trying to shame you, then you took the wrong message out of it. I will say she probably shouldn't have just been so direct to say don't do it, but she definitely wasn't shaming anybody in her defense.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. At that point. Other than that, it's just a very continuously thing where, you know, in this day and age, you can't hold a lot of things. You can't live in a protected bubble. You know, like, you can't think everything is sweet, fine, you know, like, or suspicious. Everything that you connect to, you have to like have that thought in the back of your head of like, am I connecting to something that is potentially
and again
gonna hack my stuff,
with the undertone that if you care enough, you know, if you know you don't want certain things shared, don't feel like them being on your phone and you being in certain spaces that you're not comfortable with, you're not sure of, don't feel sweet in them situations. Ain't shit sweet. And this dude clearly made that evident to you that ain't shit sweet out here. So no matter where you got hacked from, you know, it could have even been a situation where she probably wasn't directly hacked. It probably was a situation where she probably was around certain people and certain accounts were open and somebody finessed the information and locked her out of it, you know, because I've known that to happen as well. Like some people are around certain accounts and they lock somebody out and, you know, they hold the account hostage for a while. But those pictures had to have been from her phone. Could have been from an Instagram, you know, could have been from Instagram as well. Like I said, it could be any number of things. That
You did bring up also an issue a little way before, but do you think this? I don't think so now, but like, what if this was just a publicity stunt, which, you know, it's always on the back of people's heads too.
Right.
When something happens like
and
this.
we think like, oh, you know, it's a nude. What's the big deal? But you'd be surprised. Nudes are effective. Sex still sells. Sex is never not still sold.
Yeah, that's why it's like,
so a nude is still just as valid now.
This is just a big, how you say, publicity stunt.
I mean, it wouldn't be big because it's kind of just a subtle thing.
Okay, yeah,
but I could. That is always a possibility. You know what I mean? Like for someone to just outwardly share their nudes, like she could have simply said, "Okay, go ahead and share it." Like I don't care, but she chose to share it instead. So it's not like a power move, you know, like with the Kevin Hart situation where he admitted he cheated. You know, you could have just said, "Show them then," you know, and just leave it be, and wherever it popped up, it would have popped up anyway. So I think that it's easy to think that because she chose to share it as opposed to just let it just be, you know, let it just happen naturally.
What I also saw, like scrolling on that Twitter feed when where she posted the news, is like people kind of combating that by doing it on Twitter, you made it more bigger than what it would probably be if you just let him did it himself.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you had not shared it at all and just let it happen, you'll be able to see exactly like what direction this dude was going to take. Because if he realizes that you couldn't care less about the fact that he has this information, then he might just dispel it and be like, all right, she don't care. Let's move on to somebody else who I can finesse. So if she'd have left it alone, it probably wouldn't have been anything. But I think the fact that she showed it does show the potential for it to be a publicity stunt. Not saying it is, but it definitely shows the potential, because there's a lot of like, you know, red flags raised in this whole situation that could have went a little differently had someone actually had the time to sit down and think clearly enough.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like one of those situations where you made like a quick decision, like, oh, I'm going to do this. It seems a little too hasted. You know what I mean? Like there could have been a lot of outcomes if one had thought about this. And especially if you felt the outcome would have been negative, you could have thought a little bit more about it.
Hindsight, but I think at the time, you know, when you see like, hey, I got your nudes, and it's like, then that kind of like...
One's first thought is not, oh, I'm going to just share this myself. That's not a first thought. Your first thought, especially if you feel a way about it, is to try to protect that information as much as possible. Maybe you won't go along with the blackmail, but at the same time, you're gonna be like, I'm not gonna give in to whatever you're trying to say. So if you gotta show it, wherever you gotta show it, show it. You know, that'd be a more like calculated power move than just outwardly blasting yourself. You know what I mean? Like you still gotta play your cards like you still have cards to play. If you just throw your cards out there, then, you know, all the protection that you were trying to achieve.
Strategic power moves.
Yeah, you got to make strategic power moves. Like, if it happened to me and I actually cared, I would have been like, all right, show them. Whoever you got to show, I don't care. You're not getting shit from me, so do what you got to do. Whatever information you got on there, blast me, because I ain't got shit on there I ain't tripping over. So
honestly, I'm probably after this gonna just look up in my old history, see if I got any like old new photos of myself that I need to get rid of.
Yeah, I don't even care. So if you end up, anybody watching this, you end up seeing a nude, you know, holla at your boy if you a chick, because we don't swing the other way.
It has your phone number right there next to.
Right. No, I mean, holla at me on YouTube. You hear me, you see me. There's always a way to reach me. You know what I mean?
Wow. One more thing I do want to discuss before we end it. So let's say, and she also said in that Twitter post that, oh, by the way, FBI will be at your house. So let's say it's not a publicity stunt. The FBI actually catches the dude. What is a fair punishment for?
How would she know that the FBI is at his house? Because if the FBI is searching for someone, they're not gonna give you information.
Right.
They're
But
gonna
I'm
give
saying,
the
like,
courts
maybe she
the
just made a report to the FBI or something.
But you can't give a report about someone she doesn't know. That's sketchy in and of itself. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
if the
what
FBI
they do is
the FBI is pulling up, it has to be a situation where she probably knows who the person is.
Well, I think not necessarily. I think what the FBI does is do kind of like a counter thing where they just kind of like trace or see like I don't know, like see places that she's been connecting to. And then they try to trace back.
I feel like if this person is a hacker, he's gonna be a little more plus sensible than just letting his whereabouts be known.
Right. I mean, obviously, it starts back by tracing back that number that the hacker first texted you.
How you know it was a text? Obviously. It didn't even show it being a text message.
Yeah, it was a number. There
was a number up top?
Yeah.
Definitely a burn phone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, they'll trace back and, you know, probably... Or probably not. You don't know how
it could be a scrambled number. Because there are a lot of apps that actually, like, scramble your number.
It could, but I feel like if it's a scrambled number, that's easier to trace back to the guy than it is being a burner phone.
You never know. You don't know how difficult these processes are.
You don't, but I think I trust the FBI on figuring that out.
The FBI needed help from Apple to hack into somebody's phone before, so you can't necessarily trust their security skills.
Apple has their own software system that the FBI doesn't have access to.
Did she not have an Apple phone?
I didn't see her.
She was in the whites. She was in the whites.
Yeah.
So she had so somebody could hack it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I'm not gonna 100% say.
Well, the FBI way that she's probably keys. Been hacked was way less ingenious.
I got you.
Sure.
I got you.
Way less ingenious. I was gonna say ingenuity.
Ingenuity is the actual collective term. You go on.
Anywho, words are hard.
You don't word good. We get it.
It's way less
ingenious.
It's way easier just to hack someone through like a Wi-Fi. Doesn't matter what phone they're on. Right. Than it is to actually hack the operating system of the phone.
Could have been one of them situations. You're right. But I think just a lot of, again, adding to a lot of the strangeness of the situation by saying the FBI will be at your door. That's just that's just an idle threat. Because unless you know who the person is, how is he going to believe that you have contacted the FBI with his whereabouts if you don't know who it is?
I mean, I'm probably more interested in the follow-up if she actually did contact the FBI or any like authority figure, and if they actually do follow up, like, oh, we're actually investigating this. Now, obviously, I don't know if it's possible or what might come out of it, but let's say like they do pin it to a person or whatnot. What do you think is a just punishment?
I like to say first and foremost, I definitely did just pick my nose, but what were you saying?
Let's say they FBI is called, or police or whatever, whoever attends to this, and they actually do pin it on they have a person pinned it on him. What do you think is a just punishment for someone?
For the same thing that they do for every other hacker. I don't know, some jail time. I don't know exactly what the...
How much? Well, that's what I'm trying to say. What do you think is a just punishment?
Because if he has information about other people, is there not a legitimate crime for that? That goes beyond hacking? It goes within the realms of what you call it?
Motherfucking
something to do with breach of privacy.
Yeah,
but I don't know exactly what the crime is, but it's more severe than just hacking has different realms to it, you know what I mean? But as it relates to like hacking, especially when it comes to high profile people, because I'm sure extortion is definitely a factor, because she was being blackmailed.
They said extortion is punished as a felony offense.
That's what I'm saying. Blackmail, extortion, invasion of privacy. There's a lot of shit that he could be hit with, for sure. And all of those collectively, he could probably get like 30 years maybe.
So you think 30 years is just?
Just? Oh, what do I think is just?
That's why I keep saying. What do you think is
I don't know it'd be just. At the end of the day, he did invade someone's privacy and multiple other people's privacy that he's very aware they don't like, and you try to blackmail. I mean, I don't know what your situation is, but blackmail is definitely not the way to try to get out of a situation.
for sure. Especially when the other people you're trying to blackmail have so much more finances that you don't. They have more resources available to them, you know. But trying to answer your question by, you know, like building my own logic in my head. Shit. 5 years, maybe. Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 years.
Yeah.
I think that's
because anything more than that is like, all right, you know, he just took some pictures. He ain't killed nobody. You know what I mean? Like he ain't beat nobody's ass.
But then
like,
again, I say this just more of a filler thing where it's kind of like because these laws are so fucked up nowadays. Where it's like the guy smoking weed gets more time than the guy selling weed.
do they? Probably because the guy selling weed is more discreet and he's actually providing some kind of incentive for doing his service as opposed to just being a consumer that's getting away tax free. IRS don't play.
Well, yeah. No. Well, no, the guy smoking the weed gets more.
That's
time.
what I'm saying. The dude selling the weed probably paid off something to the IRS, you know, and got a little light off. You never know that.
Again,
you don't know the
I feel like if you selling the weed,
there's somebody getting written off for him to get a lighter sentence for sure. Because the dude buying the weed, he doesn't have assets to benefit them. You know what I mean? The dude that's selling the weed has connects that he could rat out. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of situations that create more of a benefit for the dude selling the weed. Because at the end of the day, as a consumer, all you have to rat on is your dealer. You don't got a big network that you know about. You know what I mean? The dude who's selling has a bigger network, so he might be able to, you know, connect to more people and lighten his sentence. But I don't think it's a standard like, oh yeah, because you're smoking weed, you're gonna get more time. I think it's just circumstances that allow for the person who is selling it to be able to finesse lighter time.
The main basis what I was trying to come up with was just like some of these laws and they're like, what you get in terms of the crime are just
the punishment don't fit the crime.
Right.
I get what you were trying to say.
Anywho, I think that's a good place to end off. We can explain stupid laws maybe in another episode.
Definitely, because laws are stupid. Stupid laws are stupid.
Stupid laws are stupid. Till that next episode, I'm your boy Bobby.
I'm your boy Mo.
And the real ones are signing off.